Watch who? Hello.
Hello.
And welcome to Watch Who, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Mark.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm a Doctor Who fan.
And I'm new to watching Who.
Watching for the very first time.
Very first time.
And here we are. We're hanging out in Torchwood Hub. We just ordered a pizza from Jubilee Pizzas again.
Poor Jubilee.
I've got pepperoni with pineapple. Absolutely amazing.
Absolutely the one.
What have you got?
If you haven't tried it, you're missing out. He orders like double pepperoni, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's also pretty good. That is also pretty good. Oh no! Oh, there's a power drain. Oh, how are we going to get... Sarah.
Story of my life.
Sarah, have you got any cyber people in the basement? I just need to check.
You just thought you better ask that one. Not this week, no.
Oh.
Or maybe I do this week.
Maybe you do. Well, before we investigate, let's talk about Torchwood. We are working our way through, well, all of Doctor Who, plus the spin-offs. So we are mid-Torchwood Series 1. And yes, it is Cyberwoman this week. But before we start, got a couple of things to talk about. Well, I'll just quickly open the Ross files. So
yeah.
Okay, I have emailed. But
You've emailed?
I literally emailed a few hours ago, so I'm checking my email. Nothing's bounced back, so that's a good thing, right?
That is a good thing, yeah.
And all I said was, hi Ross, I was going through some old email addresses and wonder if this still works. Hope all good with you. Was talking about you on a Doctor Who podcast about borrowing the VHS tapes back in school, and I put my full name. I mean, my name is in the email address as well, so
yeah,
hopefully he'll know. So stay tuned, everybody.
Oh my God. I'm glad you've reached out. I can't believe you actually mentioned that it's a Doctor Who podcast.
Well, why not? That would trigger his memory and be like, oh yeah, I used to watch that.
I don't know if I'd mentioned that. What if he looks it up and then sees how much you bash him?
No, well, he's got a lot of episodes to listen to, hasn't he? Anyway.
That's the bit that I'd be more worried about.
Other things that have been going on. Oh, yes, I sent you a picture earlier. So when we were talking about day one, way back, the Pump and Hump episode, where the sperm clinic was outside my old barber's, and I said, I think Benedict Cumberbatch went to that barber's, and I did questioned myself on that information, but I did find I've sent you a picture. He went to Windsor Barbers in Cardiff. There he is. So I'll post that picture up. I was right. See,
I didn't believe you, and you were right. Is that why you chose to go there out of interest?
No, I didn't. No, I don't know why. Actually, I don't know why I decided to go there. But no, I only found that out afterwards. What else has been going on? And I knew this would happen as well. So I have been. This is what happens. Whatever we're watching is sort of the thing that I get into at the moment. So I've been listening to Torchwood audios, Big Finish Torchwood audios. I always sort of have these Torchwood phases, and because we're going through in order, I'm looking up the order. I mean, there's so many. So I've been doing that, which is quite fun. I've been listening to some of the Queen Victoria ones. I've started right at the beginning. It's tons of Queen Victoria Torchwood audios. And also just in terms of the worlds of Doctor Who, literally the last few days, it's all kicked off again in the missing episodes story, because I did mention that there's that organisation that's cataloguing archives and stuff. They put on their Facebook about they're a charity organisation now. They've just got charity status, which means they can take in more donations and things, and it's tax free and all that kind of stuff. And they've said, we know that there are Doctor Who episodes in collectors' hands, and we are hoping to bring you an announcement very soon, basically is what they said. But they've sort of said it publicly again. I mean, usually people are like, any Doctor Who, and they're like, oh, but this is quite an open statement to say there'll be news soon. We are working with various individuals. So those guys in the basement, they're being talked to right now.
Yeah.
It's all kicking off everyone, all the speculation. I mean, not actual concrete news yet. It's all talk again, but it just seems very, very likely. We know for a fact that there are episodes there.
But they seem quite certain that they're going to get those episodes as well.
Well, yeah, this is the thing. An announcement soon does sound quite
Yeah,
positive. Anyway, it's got me thinking about those people in the basement, at least.
of course it has.
Oh, and speaking of things in the basement, that segues perfectly into today's Torchwood episode.
Someone in the basement, yeah, absolutely.
What's worse in your basement, a Cyberwoman or Doctor Who missing episodes, people?
What's down here?
Normally, nothing. Who are you?
Human point 2. The army will be rebuilt from here.
This is a fight to the death. We do whatever is necessary to destroy her. That thing is not human, clear? This ends here. I'm sorry.
Torchwood continues Sunday at 10 on BBC Three.
A bit of a controversial one, because a bit like the sort of the sex gas one, everyone's like, oh yeah, Torchwood Series 1, it's the one with the Cyberwoman. But I watched this, I haven't seen this for a very, very long time, and it wasn't as sort of out there as I thought it was going to be, or controversial as I thought it was going to be. I'm not sure what I was expecting, actually. But we focus on Yanto quite a lot in this, which is quite nice. Shall we just start going through, as we do?
I think, yeah, let's just go for it. I mean, I actually was a little bit hesitant going into this, mainly because of your reaction to it.
Well, I know, but
Because you giggling is never a good sign. You were like, you'll enjoy next week. Like, you know, Woody Woodpecker or something. We'd spoken in the week. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to watch it tonight, or I'm going to watch it tomorrow night. And you're like, okay, enjoy, whatever, you know. And I was thinking, oh God, what's this going to be? So I was a little bit like, oh, is this going to be like really stupid? Is this going to be like... And actually, I really enjoyed it.
Yes, do you know what? So did I, because all I was going off of was that previous fan reaction. And I can see why maybe it wasn't to everyone's taste.
There's a few things that I can take of the era, and not so much the era of what they're doing of this. So look, very early on, I was like, that poor woman, that costume must just be ridiculous. She's basically in a bikini for the whole thing. And it got me thinking about, like, you know, in Star Wars, some of the, like, they talk about Princess Leia and like her gold bikini thing and stuff. It made me think of some of that stuff. She's supposed to be like half built, isn't she? So I kind of got like where it was going with that, like the sort of half built look. But then, you know, they could have done that in New Who.
No.
They could have done that in the main series, that look. But overall, the story itself, I thought was great. I thought it really dealt with some of the wider issues of like the characters in the series. Like, I mean, Yanto, you see him, he's there the whole time. He has very little to do. This was a great story for him. Like he says, you never ask anything, you never ask anything about him. I never, and you could argue, okay, it's his job. They never ask anything about him. They know nothing of him. He's just quietly there in the background. Like, I think me and my partner even commented like that he just, you know, they just give him the stuff. He's given all this access and he just quietly like is putting things away, doing stuff. You think like, oh gosh, what's he done? And I don't know. It was a really strong story with a great back to it, I thought.
Well, it's the first one where Gwen hasn't been that focus. Because even
there
last
was only
week...
one moment where Gwen really, like, I literally rolled my eyes.
Well, we'll talk about that when we get to it, yeah. But it is more of a Yanto story because, yeah, he's been in the background making coffee. He wasn't even in those sort of group discussions very much when they're having Chinese or whatever, were they? He's just been this extra person in the background. And obviously, because I've seen it before, I know that he is a main person. But if you're watching for the first time, he is just like, he could just be some...
He's not even in the main images with them.
He doesn't come out with them on the road, you know what I mean? Out he's just there in the hub, like at reception, doing those things quite quiet. So when you see him, you know, they all go out, don't they? I mean, they're playing basketball in the hub. Actually, we see a lot more of because we're all set in the hub, you notice how great the set is and the detail.
Yeah,
and all
I thought
the stuff.
that as well. I thought there was a shot right towards the end when they back up, and I thought that set is brilliant.
It's on like the two levels. I mean, it's obviously built down where wherever Doctor Who is at this time. A bit like the TARDIS nowadays, it's the massive set that just stands there. You know, obviously they had
This
that
is
whole
also
hub.
a really well contained story. It's all set within the set. They're not out, and the only bit of Cardiff they're really in is just outside the water tower, very briefly. That's it. Like, it's all really contained. There's a few odd shots which would just have been done at the time. There's that one of a shot there when Reese is ringing.
Yeah, well, that's just all across the bay, isn't it?
And it's all and then minor shots that could have been added on another shoot day. They're such small shots. This is a really contained shoot. It's really well done.
So when everyone goes out, Yanto brings this doctor in. It's sort of after hours. He's doing a bit of another Susie thing. I mean, they're all
I thought that. I was like, no,
not another one. You know, it's Susie too, isn't it? And they've all been up to stuff. They've all stolen stuff before.
Oh,
they
yeah.
all like. And I was thinking, why does this not pick up on CCTV that stuff's going on? But obviously we find out that it does later. And we find that Yanto...
But I guess as well, they just trust him. He's just quietly getting on with things. Why would they be looking into stuff? Nothing's happening, so why would they?
And at this point, we haven't found out anything about Yanto's background. Nothing at all. And this is where we first find out. So he was working at Torchwood 1 at the
in London.
Army Go with Yvonne and all of that, and that's where Lisa was as well. And we saw.
I thought it was a great connection. That I really loved that as like because you wonder where these people are recruited from. Where have they found these people? Where did they find Yanto? In my head, he's just this Welsh guy. Where's he come from? This secretive Welsh guy. What a great connection.
Because we haven't really found out. All we know, again, it's just Gwen, and she's just from the police. That's all we've found out about everyone. We don't really know Jack's history still. Everyone's quite unknown. And one of the first times we've sort of seen the other side of a Doctor Who story. You know, so how many Doctor Who stories have we had where it's the big explosion or the war at the end, and then it's, oh, all done now, let's go home. We never see those consequences, right? Like in classic anything, we never sort of revisit from a different side or later on that much, do we? So that's great.
I loved that. I really loved it. I loved the sort of, it really sort of connected it back to what we've seen. I think even if you weren't watching Doctor Who, it doesn't really matter. You're like, oh, it's something that's happened. But if you're a Doctor Who fan and you're watching that, you're like, oh, it's something that I know. You have a full connection to that whole storyline. There was a big storyline. I really loved that.
And it's the most Doctor Who connection we've got so far.
Other than a hand in a jar.
Other than a hand and Jack, that's the only thing. And the horror as well. So with the Cybermen, and we know we had quite a lot of horror in the ones that we've just seen with the Doctor and Rose and all of that. But with Torchwood, you can go that extra gore. You can do all that stuff. So when that Doctor guy gets like mangled up, that is really, we see his face and everything. And that
loved showing, I mean, they really went to town on showing that face.
And it's a bit like, you know, the one with the Dalek on its own in the base from the 9th Doctor, Christopher Eccleston one, where it's one Dalek and it's a bit like that, with one Cybermen just taking over and just doing all of that. It's the Torchwood equivalent of that. And the Cybermen are perfect for late night body horror stuff because it is a horrific thing, but obviously in normal classic Doctor Who or whatever, you can never show that. And I mean, even when they first appeared with William Hartnell, they were pretty horrible. You know, the idea of it was pretty horrible. But you can do this. What do you think of it being a Cyberwoman as well?
Well, there was a few things I thought were quite interesting. One, she had heels, which I didn't notice to begin with.
I didn't notice that.
So, I didn't notice that at all. It got pointed out to me, and then I did notice it because there's a shot where she comes in and she stood there and she has like quite small heels. Because initially I was like, is it a Cyberman but because she's still part of a woman, it's Cyberwoman. But she has heels. She is a Cyberwoman.
But is that to make her taller in terms of the production that she's a Cyber? Because Cybermen are supposed to be a bit more like superhuman taller, aren't they?
She has heels. That's all I'll say.
Well, it's still supposed to be Lisa, isn't it? She's still there.
I think that's why it's like an interesting idea, because it's 50-50 or 60-40 they talk about. Like, she's halfway through the process, but there's still a lot of human there, and therefore she's not fully, which is where the woman element. And I don't know any of a Cyberman. They have very flat feet because they stomp.
Because we've seen it more, with Yvonne was still inside that cyber thing when she was converted, and the tear and everything like that. We've had a few of those moments. I suppose the controversial point, or the oh my god, I can't believe they're doing this, is the sort of the look of her is sort of like sexualized, I suppose.
Oh yeah,
isn't it?
completely.
So I mean, that's the sort of I can't believe they're doing this sort of thing. I think that's what comes from this episode. But it is a cool look.
It's a really cool look. Look, I think it looks cool, and I think it's a really interesting idea. She talks about being like a 2.0.
Yeah, and then I mean, she's not Lisa for very much, is she? She's pretty much taken over straight away when she gets that doctor and converts him. And then poor Yanto is, he's trying to. I mean, yeah, he shouldn't have hid her down there and stuff, but he obviously didn't want to kill. He's just trying to save her. You can completely understand that. But then he chucks that doctor's body in the tarpaulin in the thing. We never see that again. Or never. Is he still there? Is that body still there? No one finds. I thought someone was going to find it.
I'm guessing he has to tidy up. So at some point he does actually. Right, I'm just going to send you this picture, Mark, and you can see her heels.
Oh, she does, yeah. It looks like the most uncomfortable outfit to wear. That poor actress. There we are. The first cyber.
You can put that picture out to
I'll put out her heels are there.
But actually, I just Googled Cyberwoman. It was like the second or third image that came up.
Well, I mean, first ever and only so far, Cyberwoman.
Yeah.
Because I suppose that's what you're going to do with a spin-off. You're going to do a different side to the main show and stuff you can't do in that show. Cyberwoman and the horror and the...
And also, this is an idea from the 70s, 70s for Cybermen. First, 60s. Yeah. They came in the 60s when we still had William Hartnell. So Cybermen would have been the idea. Why not have a woman? Why not sort of rethink an idea? In this sense, yes, it's this idea, she's half... You can't have it be exactly the same. I think they have... I mean, it'd be the idea that she was halfway through it. It had to be something different because the whole point was Yanto's partner. I'm not against it. And usually we're talking of a storyline 20 years ago, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it is of a storyline 20 years ago. If it was done now, it wouldn't have been that. But I'm not against the idea of a Cyberwoman.
No.
And the storyline, I think, is brilliant. It's probably, actually, this is the first story that I've enjoyed the whole way through.
Do you know what? It didn't let up, did it? There was something else, because then what happens is she gets out. Obviously, we know she's going to get out and start trying to kill everyone and take over. That's what Cybermen do. Cyberwomen do. Big lockdown. Obviously, the power, all stuck in the base. So we've got...
I spend the whole time thinking, well, what are they going to do and what decisions will they... There are several options and you don't know which... At one point, I was like, are they going to try and trap her? There's different options even at that point. Are they going to try and kill her? What are these options? Yanto obviously wants to try and do something. You kind of know that something won't happen there, but how will we get to that point? There's several different lines that could be taken. And for Yanto, he's fantastic.
He's absolutely brilliant actor. He really is.
He absolutely takes you on that journey. That moment when he goes up there and he's going to go make them coffee and he knows something's going on and he's trying to play it cool because, that's the Yanto that we always see. And when he goes down and sees that the guy's been killed, it's brilliant. He's so good and he sees what she's become. He's brilliant. He's so good.
He is a good actor. Let's talk about Gareth David-Lloyd now, then. Because I've met him a couple of times, and he did come to. Were you working at the gate? When he was there?
I was working. Yeah. It was a Saturday.
So, guys,
I was working that shift.
No, you were not there.
I was.
You were not there.
I was, I remember. I think I did half of it. I did the morning. I did part of it, definitely.
Or maybe there was something else coming. Okay, well, this is what I remember. So,
I was definitely I remember him coming in, Mark. I was there.
I don't remember you there at all.
You were probably so in the moment that you don't remember. I was definitely there.
So where we worked.
It was really early on working, but I was definitely there.
So where we worked, there was a local Doctor Who group that came in. And because I was doing the bookings, they wanted to sit down and be like, we want to do a Doctor Who event. And I was like, okay. And I remember the guy sitting down with me in the cafe to talk about, the higher feel, whatever, and all of that. And he was like, well, I don't know if you know that the Doctor Who spin-off, Torchwood, Gareth David-Lloyd played. I was like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. And then he was like, and he's done, Big Finish audios based on that. I was like, yeah, I know. He was trying to sell it to it and explain it as if I didn't know anything. And I just kept being like, yeah, I know. But he wasn't really listening. He just carried on. I don't think he thought that I actually did know. And I was like, yeah, I know exactly everything you're talking about. And I was like, yeah, we'll do it. It was for charity as well.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Because I worked for free that day. I duty managed it for free because there was no hire fee, basically. And I remember, all I remember was me, and there was 2 other people just on the bar because we got sandwiches in and stuff. We were going to make money on the bar and provide lunch for people. I don't remember anyone else. Maybe I worked the bar then. Unless you came in later and there was something in the evening that you worked in the evening.
There could have been. There was a reason that I was in for some of it, definitely. I remember he got stuck in traffic, or there was he was running late.
So this group came in, they were organising it, they were having the building, so I couldn't really interfere in any of the setup or the organisation. But they did quite low tickets. It was like £7 or something.
Yeah.
They told me that Gareth David-Lloyd, because obviously he must live locally from Cardiff.
Yeah.
He must be in the area. He said usually for an appearance, he charges £2,000, but he was doing it for £1,000 because it was for charity. So the tickets had to cover the £1,000 of his fee. And he turned up and then he sold his own photos and autographs for £10 or whatever. All that money, I think, went to him. So he did probably about £2,000 just for a couple of hours turning up. And there was a couple of Big Finish writers there as well. So they came in. What they did up in the theatre, they had a load of Torchwood costumes on display and stuff. I was working downstairs. I never saw any of it. I don't even know. I didn't even go up to have a proper look. I was just so busy.
I remember doing a walk around for some reason.
They came in. They were doing the talk with the writers. Yeah, he was late. I remember he was late, caught in traffic or something.
Because I remember that I was near the desk and you were like, oh, he's running late or something.
Maybe you were there. That's so funny. I was.
I remember you going I was like, oh, how's it going? And you were like, he's running late. I think I had to wait at the desk or something.
So I met, because I remember when he came through, I was there waiting for him and I was like, oh, we need to tell the organisers because they were doing their talk upstairs. Yeah. So I was like, I'll let you know when he's there. We'll bring him around the back and send him up as soon as he gets it. Yeah. And I remember him walking through and the first thing I was like, he's shorter than me. He was much smaller than I thought. And there we were. He was just him on his own with his bag, with his photos.
Yeah.
That was it. And I was like, come upstairs. And I handed him over to the organisers and he did his talk and everything. And then he was up there the rest of the afternoon signing and stuff. And we were downstairs handing out sandwiches to everyone.
I think I was on reception. His taxi was delayed or something. I can remember that.
Wow.
I do remember
I just didn't think you were there. I just thought it was me. But yeah, it wasn't a long day. It was called The Day in the Life of Gareth David-Lloyd, which I don't know if it was. He just talked about his time on Torchwood and just signed and did an autograph and photo with everyone. No professional photo shoot or anything like that. I think it was just selfies at the table. But I didn't go up there.
Maybe I was helping on the bar. It must have been, what year would this have been? 20...
I sent you the picture of the poster. Let's see what it says. Because you signed a poster for us.
It was 2015.
Wow.
No, it can't have been 2015. Oh, wait, it was.
2015.
Saturday, 16th of May is a Saturday. Yeah, 2015.
2015, yeah. So, yeah, it was a good day, and he's absolutely lovely. And then I've met him again. I
love that in that whole thing, by the way, you can't even remember me being there.
I would have remembered it. It was, George was on the bar, definitely, and there was a girl, George and a girl.
Me?
I don't think it was you, because I would have known if it was you.
I don't know, but I was definitely there. We must have
I think you came in later on for something in the evening. Anyway, we'll do some research. Anyway, and then I met him again. He does a lot of Comic-Con, so I got a nice photo with him, actually, which is quite nice. And he does, in terms of the Big Finish audios, obviously he plays Yanto for all of those, but he writes them as well now. So he's written a lot for Yanto, and a lot of them are 1 hours with a lot of the time one main character from the TV show and someone else. So a lot of them are Yanto on his own doing stuff, and he writes a lot of those ones, which is quite nice. He does a lot still for the Torchwood range. So, and he was, when we went to see when we went to see Gabler at the Sherman. He was sitting behind us in the audience a couple of rows back.
Oh, yeah, you kept saying that, and I was like...
But you didn't know who he was then, so I didn't really bother saying. But yeah, so he must be quite local in Cardiff. I don't know if he still is, but on the scene. And he said as well that he'd performed in like a band night at the Gate. He'd been there before, like when he was really young. He'd done like a battle of the bands or something. So he'd obviously grown up in the area and knew the venue and stuff. So it's great that he's like a local, because I don't know him from anything else. I think Torchwood was his first sort of bigger role. He must have been sort of a local Cardiff actor, I suppose, or Welsh actor. I think he's really great, and it's good that this story, let's get back onto the episode, that he has this. So how do you feel about like knowing a lot of the other characters now? Okay, let's talk about the other thing that is a bit weird. I mean, actually, one, it's a good job Gwen had all that gun training last week, because she actually uses a gun quite a bit in this.
Yeah, that comes
up.
And
two, Owen and Gwen in this episode. What the hell is going on here? So when they are hiding from the Cyberwoman, they're hiding and they get in that cupboard and then they just start snogging. And last week, Jack had his hands all over her, and there was that moment between them.
I think it's supposed to. There's nothing actually going on between them. I don't think it's that. It's kind of like the build up of like adrenaline, because like they're chasing and then they're shoved in that thing in close thing together. That's all it is. I think it's just supposed to be like an adrenaline of the moment and being chased and what's going on, you know, life or death. And then they're shoved in that thing together. We've all done stupid stuff when we're a bit...
But I don't know. It's just not really. It's just weird for the cat. Just because the way that she was with Jack the other time, and then she's like, "Yeah, I know." It's a weird moment.
But she's not been with Jack. But nothing with Jack happened in the same way. Nothing happened with Jack. Jack was just touching her up.
I just thought it was weird the way it was like cut. So they were snogging, and then there was Jack giving like the kiss of life to Yanto, and it sort of cut back and forth for a few moments as well.
But the kiss of life to Yanto, I thought was natural, because he can do that, can't he? We've seen him do that before. But that felt like an actual. I was like, well, his is going to be more effective. I think I even said that. I was like, this is going to actually do something. So I thought that was actually what we were seeing. Like Jack's actually helping Yanto come back. Theirs is more of it's sort of showing like the characters in different situations and similar things, but in different situations. I found it really funny, because then you almost forget, and I loved it. And Reese is just out there on the bay getting a curry. I completely forgot about Reese in that moment, like, because he is so not in the story, because it's so in the base. You completely forget about it. And the phone ringing and the fumbling,
that's
brilliant.
His job every time,
great
really, isn't it? To bring everything back down to reality.
It was great. I really enjoyed it. I had a good laugh at that. I felt really awkward watching it. The fumbling for the phone and it falling out and it falling forward out of the thing. Brilliant.
Yeah,
I loved it.
It's a shame. So Tosh gets a bit sidelined in this, because she has to run up all those stairs. I mean, I don't know how far it is up the stairs.
Well, at least we don't see her running up them.
So she's doing like her technical stuff with the power for quite a bit. And it's convenient Yanto does get knocked out, so the Cyberwoman can walk around for a bit. Sort of has to happen, doesn't it? The weird bit is then Jack's like, oh, we'll just let this pterodactyl like attack her. Because I'd forgot, we have seen that pterodactyl sort of flying around in the first episode.
Oh, yeah, it's always there. I liked how it tied a lot of things in. This
just
story.
To leave the pterodactyl to attack, like, surely there's some other stuff. That's pretty horrific, because it is still sort of Lisa. I didn't really like that moment. That was the moment where I was like, oh, this is a bit too much, because surely, like, for a Cyberman, you know, it's been in the past gold. There's no mention of gold. They could have electrocuted her. They've done something, but to leave this pterodactyl, which obviously isn't effective because it's half metal, it's not going to eat her. Or it's not. What's it going to do to her that a gun isn't going to do? I thought that was really like a really horrible way.
But they have no power. They haven't got enough power, do they?
Because I just think it was a really horrible way to do it, and they get the lift out to the Millennium Centre.
Because she said by the time we've got out, that we'll be back to
and then they've
power.
got to run all the way back round to where Janto's shrine is to the front. So that's the other thing with Gareth David-Lloyd. Sometimes he's hanging around out there. There have been fans that have gone down there, and he's sometimes he has a selfie there every now and then, or he used to. So they've got to run all the way around there, and then the pizza girl turns up.
That pizza place must wonder what happens to their delivery drivers.
Well, they've got them on speed. I think they know that it's Torchwood and there's something there. I feel like they're regulars, aren't they?
Yeah, but like this is the second delivery driver that's gone missing.
There was a pizza person from the sex one that got killed, was it? Oh no, in the first episode. No.
In the very
No,
first
so
episode.
Gwen took over and pretended to be a pizza person in the first episode, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel
like someone else went in though, haven't they?
I feel like somebody else did, maybe.
Yeah. We need to keep track of like
Pizzas.
delivery drivers. Not even pizzas. I mean, because she went yes to pizza. She's been to get pizza. But I feel like there's been other deliveries. Someone else has been to that door.
They had a Chinese, didn't they?
Yeah, but who else has been to that front door?
I think it was Gwen in the first episode because she found the reception.
It was, but has someone else been?
And then when...
Maybe I'm just thinking of that first
episode. And then
episode.
when Karis was escaping, maybe.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of, that sort of...
We'll see it a bit, but no.
Yeah, because, someone else came because that's how Karis got out. The delivery driver came.
Oh, possibly. I mean, it was only a couple of episodes. I can't remember.
Yeah, the delivery driver came. Someone came to the door, and so that's how she went up.
Basically, it's not a very secure reception, is it?
Well, he's been distracted. He's had a Cyberwoman down in the basement.
But that's pretty horrible, though. How you think it's all over, you think that the pterodactyl's going to get her, and that's it. And then they go back in, and that poor girl and the brain.
Well, when you see her dead on the floor, I was like, what has happened here? And then when you see that woman, I was like, oh my God.
And then he's like, well, it's her, but now...
Yeah, and I thought he was really going to shoot her. That's a moment, I think, where, like, Yanto's like, you need to go. Like, in yourself, he's almost made that decision. He just can't do it because he loves her, but he's like...
Yeah, I didn't think he was ever going to do it. I didn't think he could do it. But then again...
I thought he was going to do it.
Everybody else does it all at once. That's pretty harsh as well.
But I think he almost knew that it had to happen because he's kind of like, you've just murdered this innocent girl. It's kind of like, even if you love someone, they've done this terrible, like, she's saying, oh, I did it for you, but she's just done a terrible thing.
But at the end of the day, she is a cyber. It's going to happen. She killed that girl. It's not Lisa. It wasn't Lisa the whole time. Yeah, they know that's what the outcome's going to be. And then obviously he's really upset. But he stays on. He's not like a Susie where they're like, you've got to go or, everything. He's sort of like the next day almost, it's implied that he comes in the next day because he just starts cleaning up or maybe a few days later.
I don't know. It didn't feel like the next day to me. It felt like he almost got himself changed. I feel like he lives there.
Well, they all sort of do, don't they? Yeah, we don't really see.
He sort of got himself changed and then just started cleaning.
But I feel like we definitely know the character now more than...
I feel like another layer has been peeled that can't go back.
Maybe we enjoyed it more as well because it's not as much. We've had a bit of too much of Gwen already now.
The only time that Gwen really annoyed me in this, there was a moment Jack told her to go, and there was a point she was just stood there watching, and then it was after the whole kissing. She got out, and she was just stood there watching the Cyberwoman. She nearly got like killed by her. And Cyberwoman's running like move, and I thought, for God's sake, woman, just run.
Yeah, well,
that nearly ended me. But generally, and also I think what I really enjoyed about this was it was a really good Jack story.
Yeah, he's he's trying to keep control, and obviously he's got the betrayal of Yanto as well, and just trying to be like, and everybody reacts like the Cybermen. This is a serious thing. Like even when Owen first sees like the table, he's like,
Owen was brilliant. Again, Owen's reaction is so strong. Like it's so serious, and like I felt the fear because of Owen's reaction.
But then he's got that because he knows the big Torchwood in London got destroyed by these things, and they know the power of it, and they really sell that, don't they? Because you've just seen. I mean, if there's somebody that is watching Torchwood for the first time and hasn't seen the Cybermen, they're probably seeing that Cyberwoman and being like, "Oh, is this a bit of a joke? Is this what?" Do you know what I mean? In that sense,
he sells that so well. He sells that like it's fear. He sells that fear so well, that genuine fear. Even knowing because I think you get so used to seeing monsters, you can forget how. But actually, for Torchwood in particular, it's a real impact because they lost a whole portion of themselves from it. I really enjoyed this one. This was probably one of my favourites, actually. It really kept me interested. It's the first one where I've not had to check how long has gone in the story.
I mean, I was saying I watched this at 3 a.m. because I felt ill, and I was just like, I'll just watch a bit of it, and then I'll just watch the whole thing. I was like, wow, actually, can't believe I haven't seen this for so long.
The pacing's great.
They've got it right, haven't they? Yeah.
Really strong pacing. So actually, whereas last week I was talking about the writing, and then afterwards I looked it up, and the writing, it was a new writer last week.
I can't remember. This one is Chris Chibnall, who is Jodie Whittaker's.
But last week's writer, do you remember how I said, we've got top writers on this? How have we? So last week's writer has gone on to write for Doctor Who.
Who is that? Who wrote that? Oh, Helen Rayner. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Her, actually, to be honest, her Doctor Who's aren't the most popular either, actually.
But I think this must have been before this was before she'd done Doctor Who. So this must have been, and so I'm going to do like a caveat here, which might be a bit late for people because obviously the episode was last week. But I can, I'll forgive. This was almost my argument. I was like, Torchwood should be a ground for people to like experiment and try writing before they go on to the main show. That's kind of what that last week's episode, I was like, I really enjoyed, apart from that whole gun moment. I was like, it was shoddy writing. Why do we have that? Like, that's what I expect of like a starting writer, not like when we've got Russell T Davies, Chris Chibnall, people like that.
Yeah, she actually...
That's what I said last week. I can forgive it now because I'm presuming, because I think from what I looked up, she comes into Doctor Who...
as a script editor.
Later in writing.
Yeah, she's script editor.
Later, though.
Well, it's the next series, actually.
Oh, there we are. But later.
Later, yeah.
I can forgive that this might have been earlier and maybe like one of her first scripts of this sort, and I'll forgive it. Whereas this week shows what good writing is.
Yeah, I just want to see more of these characters together. Like, that's what I liked about it. It's the team and how they're dealing with situations.
Well, I enjoyed Jack leading, because also we've not had a lot of Jack. We've had a lot of the other characters. We've had a lot of Gwen.
We're only episode 4 and we have had a lot of Gwen.
I really enjoyed Jack leading.
When it's that situation, it's not like he's sending them off to investigate something each week. It's, we're in this, we need to save Torchwood. You do what I say. Yeah,
and he was really good. He was really strong. He was the leader that they all looked to and help in that moment. And, arguing with Yanto, being that force. I thought he was really strong in this. Really strong acting from him as well. John Barrowman.
Great.
Really good episode.
I'm pleased, actually. I'm pleased.
I would say this has been my favourite so far.
Actually, me too. Yeah, let's say that's our favourite so far. And it's different every week. It's a good variety so far as well.
Yeah.
So let's hope.
I can forgive the bikini stuff for the time period because the theory and the storyline is so strong and the acting is so strong.
Yeah, I wonder if they did it this, like, nowadays, they might not do it in that design.
The costume would have been different. Yeah. If it was done nowadays, that costume would be different.
But that would be the only thing. Yeah.
That'd be the only thing. The rest of it would be the same. But the acting is so strong. And it's actually got me to be like, and then I will say though, the cliffhanger for the next one was the most confusing cliffhanger I've ever seen.
What, the little trailer for next week?
Oh, I had no idea this one at least I was like, well, there's Cyberwoman, oh, look what's going on. But that one I was like, I have not got the foggiest.
So it's called...
It gave nothing away.
No, it's called Small...
It's a school, and then there's Jack's hugging an old woman and saying he loves her. And I was like, I've not got the foggiest.
I think it's quite a good one. It's called Small Worlds. I won't say. You just have to see. You just have to see what happens. But I think we're getting a good mix of storylines here. It's definitely more finding its feet as a series now. I feel like, yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm getting into Torchwood now. Yay. Right, anyway, we'll see you all next week for Small Worlds, everybody. We'll better have these Jubilee pizzas before someone's brain gets chopped out.
Before they go cold, yeah.
Before they go cold. And you can follow us in the meantime at To Watch Who on social media and at patreon.com. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
To Watch Who.